Okay, I found them. I was doing some tinkering around my desk earlier, getting everything cleaned up and whatnot. I misplaced my glasses, and I don't wear glasses like because I have to. It's the freaking blue light filtering glasses, and I found out that when you have a bunch of light, it irritates the fuck out of my eyes, but you need a bunch of light in order to do this kind of work. Also to focus in on what you're working on, which too much light exposure for some lenses is kind of bad. Like for camera lenses, for other times it's good. But I'm working all day. It really hurts your eyes to have this much light on. So I found out that blue light canceling glasses actually help out a little bit with that. They cut the glare off of everything. I just wish the camera would focus a little better. Magnifying headset lights. The wife has one. I have a stand one that has a light, but I use that light. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's like one right here, like to my right, that has a magnifying glass on it, and I look through those. It's not necessarily like focusing in that really hurts. Like I can focus pretty easily, open my eyes and whatnot, but it's a matter of like having I have really weird light sensitivity sometimes, and it's really weird. My one weakness. Brush is not wanting to behave for either. Doesn't help that I'm painting something incredibly minute. I kind of fucked myself a little bit here. Pardon my language. Pardoning language. Because when I rearranged my desk, made my space a little bit more cramped. Which I have to try something a little different here in a second. This is a trial run. There's not a lot of elbow room. I don't know why I decided to go with black for the trim on these shoulder pads, because when I was playing Space Marine last, I noticed that when I picked black for my base color, it did something similar. Which this is more or less the same color scheme as my guy from that game, so I was like, you know what, screw it, let's just go with that. The only thing I can't get done in that game is having the that like you can see it a lot better now. They have the camera set like this. I have this set up where it's lead belcher as a base coat, and I came through with this other like color wash on it to give it more like a copper penny, like that green as shit that happens on pennies. I'm probably cussing a lot. Cussing's like my second nature type of thing, which it's not great, but Oxidation, there you go, that's the word. Oxidation. But it helps, definitely help these colors pop a little bit more, I want to say. Like, it's one of those things where if you saw it in person, there's always so much you can do with a camera. But it definitely, like, around some of the edges and whatnot, it definitely looks pretty good. I think the camera set up closer like this actually helps with this sort of thing. Now these models are like cheap snap together. They came with a starter set, but I like the sculpts they did for these. I'm not a big fan of Primera Space Marines due to like a whole bunch of other, like, controversial, well, not controversial crap, but just the way things are like gone in the store, like fandom wise. But these models are pretty crisp. No, these actually came gray. Believe it or not. Like the beginner set, the start learning set or start playing set came with like 5 of these dudes and like 4 of these dudes and 1 sergeant. And it came in gray plastic. And it came with 10 gaunts and 1 ripper, like a 1 ripper or 2 ripper swarms for the opposing side. And it was all in gray, which is nice. But everything and anything that comes out of Games Workshop nowadays is catered towards the idea of the Ultramarines, only because it's standardized and it's easier to go. Wait, that's a lot of paint. It's all like a standardized faction, which in all reality makes a lot of sense. I just wish that they want to go for a wider audience, and variety is definitely their bread and butter. Problem is variety when you get to a certain size is more of a liability. Because of if your lore is really expansive and whatnot, has so many factions, it helps build the world, but from a marketing standpoint, at some point in time, it's hard. You gotta pick which baby you're gonna feed more so than all the others. As of lately, for the last I want to say 10 years, seems like they fed more into the Imperium side of things. Imperium and Chaos, more so. Yeah, it can be seen as a problem. But, yeah, has it always been their problem? Now, that's a hard to say if it's always been their problem. It's just how do I put this? I actually know how to put it. It's been a long day for me. My sciences are killing me. Yeah, it's now. So the main factions that I think GW prioritizes most are in the Imperium Advanced Space Marines, orcs, and maybe some chaos. Like with all these things, when you spent so much time building out the world, that they come across an issue to where they have to figure out, like, once again, who they're going to feed and what they're going to expand the lore, which direction they want to go in, and no one ever ends up being like exactly happy in that situation. What color was that? One of the good things about having the camera like this is that I can actually show you the color. And as Vapor can read here, this is blue-green. That's right. This color is blue-green, Vapor. You know what that means? It means that it's different from turquoise. That's right. It's different from turquoise. And you know what's very different from? Light turquoise. Which is very different from the light turquoise is somehow darker than the regular turquoise. I love that. Yeah, suffer horse, suffer. Suffer. Am I coming through too loud? Suffer horse, suffer. Yeah, I can always adjust my gain a little bit from here. Like, okay. The way I have my setup right now is I have like 3 boons all at my face. Like, there's a camera boon directly in front of me, there's the mic directly to the left of me, and then there's the magnifying light directly to the right of me. It's like I'm working like a 12 by 12 box for my hands. Shit. The worst, here's where I shoot myself in the ass, because I don't actually know if I had the right color for this. I do. Trying to clean up where I got this red for this canister right here. And I got a little bit on the... There's no winning when it comes to some of these pieces. And it's just gonna have to be like it is. Because there's always gonna be a problem that you're always gonna see. Like, if I get the camera to focus a little bit more. Like, okay, so it looks good until you start looking and you see shit like that. Right here, where the paint just nicked a little bit out of perspective where it's supposed to be. So you gotta go back and you gotta hit it up with like the base coat again. That's why you see so many like Space Marine chapters that are just like one solid color and accents. Because doing all this is like tedium ad nauseum. Tedium ad nauseum. Turquoise pancakes. Now, funny you should mention that, because the other day I was making pancakes for everybody breakfast. And I decided to be a little cheeky about it, and I put some teal food coloring in it, which made the pancakes green. And you're probably wondering, like, what exactly did that do? Well, if you've ever looked inside, like underneath like old carpeting, and you know the carpet padding, how it's like a brown color and then like a bluish green color and whatnot. It looked just like that, but they tasted pretty okay. Maybe if I didn't want my thing to go off, I should turn my shit on vibrate. There I go cussing again. Can't help it, I'm evil. Excessively clean brushes. I don't know who to flip got a hold of this pot of paint last, but poured out half of it. It could be anyone in the house. I wonder if I have any other reds anyway. I can't remember if this is the one I used or not. God, it's been once. It was crunchy. A little bit left in it. So crunchy it left little bits on the table. Looks like it's separated. I don't know if I can use this one. See if I have anything else. Okay. I don't have anything like that. What I do have is this D&D paint that was made by Vallejo. I got this from a different local game shop. I say local as if it wasn't like a little decent drive away. But it is bloody red, which the wife has told me is not a very good red. Or at least there are better reds. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, it's thick. Tiny purity seal. Purity seal. Probably wondering, Spaz, what the hey is a purity seal and why is it on the little dude? Well, I'm glad you asked, disembodied voice. A purity seal goes on a Space Marine's armor when he has completed a task. Sometimes it's given before, sometimes it's given after. I dropped the model. It's supposed to like be like a when he swears a oath before battle, and is a testament to his purity. Deal. Because once we hit this up with a wash, no one's going to know. No one's going to know. No one's going to know anything. They're only going to know exactly what we tell them. You know why? Because they weren't here. That's right. And I get a little... Ah! It stupid little crevices. Ah, let's go look fucking too. That was awful. That was terrible. That was awful. I'll let you sit right there for a second and think about what happened to you. Now, for the paper on the purity seal, we have a handful of options. I have an idea of what I'm going to do. Give me Spaz a Warhammer book. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to base it in Banshee White. Then I'm going to follow up accenting it with a pale flesh tone. And with these two combined, it should give us something akin to like parchment. At least that's my rationale for thinking. Now, I don't know anything about color theory, and I have never figured this part out or anything like this, because I used to just make a bunch of Chaos Space Marines. And so you don't have to worry about purity seals because, well, no one's keeping score. No one cares. And I like these little bottles. Now, these were just about as expensive as the Citadel paints, but they're little droppers, so they're easier. They're easier to work with. Especially when you have a white palette. Now, I also have another one of these larger Vallejo paints. That's a light, so it says it's a light green gray, which very much what we're going for, was a tad bit too dark compared to the Banshee White. I got these gloves as a medium, and I don't know. Probably wondering, oh, Spaz, what are you wearing gloves for? Don't want to get your hands dirty? No, it's not a matter of not getting my hands dirty. My hands are wrecked from working all day. Completely wrecked. This stuff is watery. This stuff is thin, thin, thin. Thin, thin. Or that is thin paint. Shoot. How would you base anything in this? I don't know, paint. I mean, it goes on pretty smoothly, but man, that coverage is just complete garbage. Now, it stands out enough to where you can see what it is, but it's trying to. I don't think it's trying hard enough, or maybe it's trying too hard. Sip of coffee. Probably should have muted for that. Like a great choice of color. Great choice. What sounds good to you folks tonight? Great choice. Ew. Ew. It looked like boogers in earwax. Ew. We're all children at heart. I feel like it's already separated. Let me get this thing to shake up real good. Okay. Oh, that looks a lot better. There we go. Note to self, beat the hell out of these things. Can't tell if this play hook right yet. It's got better coverage, but it's wanting to do something similar. Wanting to pull up with its counterpart. Okay. It's not the worst looking. We'll keep it. Okay. At the rate that I'm going, I should have all 5 of these guys finished by Christmas. God help me. What else? Wishful thinking. I have to have them finished by Christmas. Because I still have to finish these things over here. I started them a while back, and I haven't finished them either. I mean, I got most of it done, but they're not, you know. I'm gonna go. Oh. Really should. Has a little more character right there. A weird thing about this Citadel paint is that once you put it onto a model, it almost dries. And I always thought that was kind of strange. It's not an unwelcome thing, it's just odd. Makes your work time a little bit different. That orange. Where'd it go? It's a thing about having all times things just go missing and nobody knows where they went. Found it. Oh, for anyone that's curious what color that is this Evil Sun Scarlet by Citadel. Well, you know, that's been called, well, it's been called something else now, but that's the that's what that color was. And it dries in like a same color red as all the rest of them. Like a subdued, dry, earthy red. But for our intents purposes, what our next highlight is going to be rust orange. Well, I say rust orange only because it's an orange color, but it just, the color just says rust, but it's an orange. Okay, a little bit more. Oops. Oop. Little bubble to go. Give it a bubble. Give it a little bubble. Bubble. That's pretty good. Being sent to the blue factory. Oh no, not the blue factory. Now this little water basin is really neat. It's somewhat Hobby Lobby, I think. It's a collapsible water base, so it's easier to store, and it has these textures at the bottom that are really good for cleaning your brush out. Now, don't be like me and just let it sit in the open and let your paint water dry in your basin, because it leaves this like, it decolorizes the whole thing, stains it, but no, it adds character, I think. So there are consequences for being lazy. Sometimes it builds character. Need a slightly finer brush for this next part. This is gonna be the hard part. You're probably wondering, what's the hard part? It's the eyes. Gotta do his little eyes. Tiny holes. Finer. Yeah. Did it. Yeah. Give that a second to dry, and we'll come back and we'll hit it with a glaze. Give me a glaze. Now, usually I put some blood for blood guy, but I have no idea where that went. I think it's somewhere in the kitchen. Why is it in the kitchen? No idea. We have a bloodletter glaze here. Now, I got this back when these first came out, and I got this and like a few other ones somewhere in my toolkit. They're hit and miss, in my opinion. Use them liberally. Use them like strenuously. It's a whole thing. You use your best judgment. I've had mixed results with them. I was kind of hoping it would give everything kind of a glossy effect, like a gemstone when you do it, but it's kind of hard to tell if it does anything at all. Heck. catch a drop of it. This stuff's like incredibly watery. Drop it right into the eye socket. It's like giving them eye drops, basically. The hard part is to get that watery stuff to actually load into your brush. Because can't always get it the way you want it to work. But in this case, looks like we may have. There we go. There we go. Maybe I'll make it pop a little bit more. Yes, now go through and do a few cleanups. Go on for about an hour. Usually, if you stream, you want to go for a little bit more than that. I think this is a makeup brush. It is the makeup brush. I didn't my toolkit. Works. Yeah. That up there. Some lead belcher right there. Probably put the backpack back on since I'm done with it. Lead belcher. Go ahead and close the glaze so I don't. Now, the pots, people don't like pots. I don't like the pots of paint. You know why? Because they're designed so poorly. Sometimes they don't seal properly. They don't keep out temperature very well. But it is satisfying to close. It is satisfying to close them. The sound they make is really nice. When you crack them open for the first time, they sound really satisfying too. Ripping the head off a squirrel. Like I know. There we go. Add chips here. Go. Okay, so it's not 100% like to liking. But it's also not bad. I want to hit it up with another technical, but I don't have any. I do. It's toolbox. I got to dig for it. Okay, so we actually have a handful of options here. Have this first one here, it's like a dirty greenish shade. Remember when Army Painter had, like I saying how I like the little bottles. Army Painter had a bunch of these. I had some known oil put in this one. I don't have a pot of it anywhere, but there's still plenty of it left in there. This one's like a dirty green. Now they do sell ball bearings to put inside these things. I'm not paying like $5.99 at the time for ball bearings to put in paint. So I went to the hardware store and I bought a bunch of like little nuts, like a little nut and bolts, and put it in here. It works just the same. Then there's this thing right here, which is the technical. This is X-ray flame. I have no knowledge of what this would do. Well, they were stainless, so they probably shouldn't rust. Well, even if it did, like, you know, see how this stuff comes out, this dropper? Yeah, I wouldn't, like, see how dirty that looks? You think if they want to notice any rust? I don't think that'd be much of a problem, even if it did. Oh yeah. Yeah. Real question is where we want this to rest at. This is a different part. I don't know how I feel about that. It looks fine for knocking the sheen off of it, but I think I can get the similar result with known oil that I actually want. I don't have to hit much up with known oil. Just the part that stands out the most is the crescent on the crest on the chest. Note to self, buy more known oil. How heavy do I have to load this brush down? That helps it pop it just a little bit more. What I want to do, I want to take this stuff, I'm going to let it pool here in this area right here, right above the, well, right in this well neck, this, where that collar is. See what that looks like. I'm just not so sure about the hex stuff. I mean, it not the blue back a little bit. This made it look dirty. I don't think it really did much of anything. Completely honest. Oh. Hmm. 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 You're probably wondering, Baz, what are you doing? Doing this. Okay, so no oil, too runny for what I need, but you know what's just the right amount of viscous for this situation? Abaddon Black Airbrush Paint, which I have a little bit of right here. And what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit at a time, certain areas, knocking the excess off with the other brush to give it a sooty effect. But it's not behaving exactly how I'd like to a certain. Okay. Now, there's a concept that comes in with painting stuff. It's when you think you've done enough and you have to be satisfied with what you've done. Any further would just ruin it. I think this is about as good as this one gets. As far as like its paint job is concerned. It's really well, I think in my opinion it's really well done. I'll post a picture on, like when I'm done, I'll post a picture and on my posts. But I think just about all we can, or the best I can hope for, really. The colors are all there. It's about between this stream and the last stream or last video. I want to say this is probably about 3 hours worth of work. And it's just a proof of concept, more or less. Now, can do. Go ahead and base it while I'm at it. I think I'll go ahead and I'll do that for the ease of it. Okay. Make sure. Boop. And that water on my dish. That water on my dish. Good thing I'm finished painting. Another thing too, that's why having this some rubber mat is a really good thing. You not do something like that, you ain't gotta worry about messing up anything like your fancy custom made mouse pad. Too bad I didn't buy this before I bought that. I'm an idiot for that part. But you know, live and learn. Now, something else too is a lot of people like to throw away old brushes when they get like this. It's the cheap Walmart brush right here, and so is this one. I trimmed this one off a long time ago, make it flatter. Now, you can keep all your old brushes for as long as you want, and they just don't have their same intended use as they used to. You find new uses for them. The real question is to base this thing in now. Because the cool thing about is the snap-on ones, you can take the base off, and because we were painting it so much, we have a perfect outline of where his feet go. So now we can figure out how we want to base it. I think we should start with a brown color. Brown. Let's start with, okay, so when it comes to basing, you can use any paint you want. Obviously, you can use the paint you want to do anything. But when it comes to basing things, I find cheaper stuff actually helps out better. This is Apple Barn paint. You can get it from Walmart. This one is English Ivory Green. It's an acrylic paint. It's quick drying. It's, you know, it's standard freaking hobby paint. Now, sometimes, well, most of the time, when you get a box of models, whatever, you assemble them and you get ready to paint them and do whatever, and you put them on a base. You put them on a base. Some people put them on bases so that you can, you know, better hold the thing, because W and whatnot sells all kinds of stuff that like to hold on to them and make it easier to paint them. So well and good. Other people and other artists use like tack, which I have some underneath in my toolbox. Some people use like sometimes they just use a really weak glue to hold them in place. You do whatever makes you feel comfortable. For me, most of the time, I'll say caution and win. I'll glue them and I'll just base them that way. And sometimes you'll get a whole model where you have to do that because sometimes they'll be like walking or something, and so you have to put a little bit of terrain on there to actually make them more stable. Okay. We're gonna take, done quite yet painting it. Gonna hit it up with a little bit of khaki. For basing materials, we have a box full or a bag full of these rocks. We can put a few of them down, and that'll look kind of neat. Now, the only problem with basing your shit, or basing anything really, is that sometimes it'll clash with whatever battlefield you're on. So yeah, that's like the only real thing that would like cause a problem. Okay, let's see here. A little bit of khaki. A little bit of khaki. Where the other little... Probably wondering like, well, Spaz, what are you doing here? Like sometimes, especially when you're basing, you just like let your tism take the wheel on this one. Be surprised what you can come up with once you do that. Get another towel. We're almost done anyways. Won't hurt to make another one. Make another paper towel from scratch. How about that? So now when you have your base materials, you want to do a dry run. See what it's going to look like. You put stuff down. Or you glue it. Because you can't really take back the glue easily. Do. Sometimes. Might figure out what works and what doesn't work. For gluing it on, handful of glues you can use. You can, for our intended purposes, we normally would use Elmer's glue, but for the sake of time, I pop out the Gorilla Super Glue. Now, you can use this to put your models together if you want. These models here are snap together models, so you don't have to glue them. A lot of other people, that's why it's way over there, about using this thin plastic cement for gluing your stuff together. It works pretty good. The main reason why people use it because the applicator in it's like small enough to actually do anything with. This one is just like you're at the will of how much you squeeze the bottle. Also, here's a tip. It's a funny little tip. If you want a better work time with Gorilla Glue, you put it in the freezer or the fridge, and it gives you a longer work time. But for our intended purposes, we don't need necessarily to have a longer work time. We just need to glue a tiny little rock onto a piece of plastic. Here's a liberal amount of glue. Damn it. I messed up. Okay. That's okay. Because I got a plan for that excess glue. Here in a second. Actually, since I got that right there, go ahead and do this next part I want to do. I had some. How did I end up with this? My flag is missing. That's not cool. Oh. Really? Okay, so I could not find the flack I actually wanted to use, but I did find some faux moss. Little thing of... See, this is what happens when you don't do this stuff regularly. You end up losing a lot of stuff. Just like the nature of time. Put something down, put something in a specific place, and especially if you live with like someone else, you're going to eventually subject to people touching stuff. With touching stuff, some things will get misplaced. That's okay. We're smarter than that. I like to think we are, at least. Fit like that. Can you still fit with that rock there? Yeah. Yeah, you can. Now then, we can clean up the edges of our base. Get them all messy. Around the base with a little bit of black. Put it up. I'll stop my shit over. Ah! Bad. Bad. Paint's expensive. Don't knock it over. Don't knock it over, Spaz. Don't knock it over. That looks really. There we go. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. Well, uh, well, thank you everybody for coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. It's been about hour and 48 minutes. So y'all have a good one. Bye bye.